Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Secret Files Tunguska. So, we found our father's old outpost, I guess we can call it, cabin, where he worked on his Tunguska research or expedition. So let's look around.
I should probably watch out where I'm stepping. One false step could be my last one.
See if there's anything in the window.
The small windows are absolutely filthy.
Okay, it looks like we still got some of that vodka. So you gonna drink any? No. Okay. Let's check the diary. The Forbidden Zone, Tunguska region. The old Avink is feeling much better. He talks about his son, who headed to the area of the crash site despite his warnings and found a strange fragment. Later, his son suddenly disappeared. The Avink also talked about Nina's father, who also didn't listen to his warnings, and Perez had to pay dearly for it. He also warns Nina, but should she turn around now when she is still so close? No, of course not. Why would we do that? So let's just check the cabin. The obvious thing, I guess, first. And boy, is it a mess.
The small windows are...
Okay, so the windows are still filthy.
An 8mm film projector. Considering its age and the fact that it's not professionally handled here, it is not in bad condition.
Can we take it?
It won't work without electricity.
Huh.
There is nothing special to see, but then again, it is pitch black in there. A small bit of tinfoil.
Okay. So I guess we'll take that. Right.
An old rag.
We'll take that. Apparently, this is a puzzle.
A small metal pin. A small metal pin.
But,
Nothing happens. The button must have a purpose. But what?
I think we'll come back to this one. I don't want to accidentally look at the riddle like last time where it basically gives the answer. That was, kind of cheap, I thought.
An old rag.
Can we...
The rag is soaked through.
There we go.
Inside, the windows are almost clean. As an obedient little housewife, of course I know what my duties are. There, finished. Shall I make dinner now as well?
Dinner sounds good. Alright, now we got some light shining in.
The sunlight makes the hut look a little friendlier at least. There is nothing special to see, but then
Okay,
again,
so that
it
didn't
is
help
pitch black in there.
with that. Does that help with the compass at all? There must be something we mount on there. Alright, projector. What did I see here? Shard.
Are shards always broken, or are there whole shards? An interesting question. I'll have to ask my former philosophy professor. Are shards always...
Okay, so can we clean that up? Nope, okay. I think we've done about as much as we can do here for the moment. So I know there were 2 other paths outside we could explore. So, just the one. Okay, well, let's go on to the path then.
A generator, supplying the hut with power. An old drinking water tank.
Okay.
It looks like a garden hose. Time has been gnawing away at it, but there don't seem to be any large cracks or holes in it.
I guess we'll take that. Can we take these logs? No, of course not.
A bit of petroleum still seems to be in there.
Okay.
If I remember correctly, then that thing has something to do with magnetism and producing electricity.
Can we turn on the generator?
There is obviously no more fuel in it. That would have been too good. I don't think that a diesel generator will run on petroleum, and there's hardly anything left in the lamp anyway.
Oh, it was worth a try. Alright, let's continue on to the path then.
That must be a tributary of the stony Tunguska. It's not the river's fault, but I'm starting to hate that name.
It looks like someone ran off the road here.
Wow, what a monster! I have to ask, even if I'm talking to myself, how did that thing get here?
More importantly, can we take a closer look?
This has been plundered. Everything that can be taken off and carried is gone. There are only 2 small nuts here, and I am having them. A nut. A nut. There still seems to be a bit of diesel oil in there.
Now the question is, how do we get diesel oil from there to the generator? Maybe we'll find something further down the path. I don't think the hose will be long enough, but...
That must be the research station that the transit train was supposed to be going to. Has it even arrived there at all? The research station is certainly impressive. It even has its own runway, and probably just as impressively secured. I can forget getting in there. I'm not even sure that I want to go in anyway. After all, I have heard and read about this station and the place it was built on. Anyway, the station does radiate a certain fascination. Not a positive one, and the longer I look, the more I get the shivers. I'd better make my way back. There's a lot to do, and I still don't know what secret out of Daddy's past is concealed here.
I want to go to the research station.
The whole station looks like out of a science fiction movie. Hardly believable, considering that it has been here for several decades. Will its secret ever be revealed to me?
That was actually my thought. I'd say that looks pretty sci-fi to me.
The river drops about 30 meters here. It's a very impressive sight.
But it seems we won't be going there today, so... Then, I guess the first thing to try is the hose long enough?
I've hung the hose into the tank.
Okay, well that...
I've hung the hose.
It doesn't help us, though. Unless she's gonna auto...
There is obviously no more...
Yeah.
An old drinking water tank.
Alright, I think for now, we're actually going to go back. So I have some ideas.
I'll light the lamp. A bit of petroleum still seems to be in there. I can't see or find anything special.
Okay. So, maybe that comes into play later.
Nothing happens.
Can we I mean, aluminum isn't magnetic, but it looks like the nuts do go on here in some fashion.
Are shards always... A generator, supplying the hut with power. An old...
No, that would be,
Wow.
Okay, so... I really kind of wish we could zoom in here so I could see what I'm doing, but, yeah, we don't really have a container to... Well, one, we don't have a pump. Two, we don't have a container. So I don't really get what putting the hose there does at this point. I mean, it'd be one thing if the hose led back here, but it doesn't.
If I remember correctly, a generator.
Oh, so maybe... Yeah, reacts to magnetic objects. I'm not reading any more past that. So that's what I thought. So can we... And we can't wrap... So I wonder if the goal is to get this running and then use the coil. What?
I have held the nut close to the coils, but it has not become magnetized.
Yeah, so the idea is to magnetize the nuts, but we got to get the generator running first.
This thing... There's no reception here.
So that brings us back here.
I've hung the hose into the tank.
And how do we actually get the tank working? Can we put the rag? No. We can't use the petroleum. I can't think. There must be something we're missing.
I should probably watch out where I'm stepping.
There's gotta be a container somewhere, right? I feel like this is supposed to reveal some sort of hidden message eventually.
I would never have dreamed that one day I would clean out a chimney from the inside. Now that the suit is off, I can see numbers written on it. 7.5, 3, 10.5, 6.
Okay, today's the 7th.
Now that the suit is off, I can see numbers written on it. 7.5, 3, 10.5, 6.
Okay, so that must be the positions that we rotate this to. So if we consider this a clock, so this would be 7.5. This would be 3, and then we have 6, 9. This would be 10.5, and then 6, and then we must lock in each position with the button. So great, I figured most of this out. I just need something to carry the fuel oil in. Did I, like, not carry something from the... There's nothing I can do to this anchor here?
An old drinking water tank.
Oh, wait, that's a pump. I think, isn't it? Isn't that a manual pump on there? Can't we please pump it?
A generator.
You're just going to tell me it's no fuel, right?
There is obviously...
Yeah. Guess we'll just try everything. Oh, really?
There's still plenty of vodka in there. If I want the one spirit, I think I will have to get rid of the other. Nastarovia! Oops. I think I'm a bit out of practice. The rest of the diesel oil out of that old truck.
Okay, there we go. That's what I was missing. So I didn't think to use the vodka because she wouldn't drink it, and it was full, so I didn't see it as a container. But still, that raises a question of how she actually managed to pump the stuff out of the tank. But there we go. Now,
that's what I call quality craftsmanship. Over 50 years old, and it still works like it did when it came out of the factory.
Now we can magnetize the nuts.
I'll hold both nuts close to the coils, but not too close, otherwise I'll be toast. As a result, they seem to have become magnetized. The nut is magnetic. It's amazing what you can buy these days.
Alright, so now back to the cabin, and I think we're about ready to finish this zone then. So we can run this.
There is no roll of film in there.
Oh, we must get the roll from here then. Okay, so 7.5 is...
That's strange. Obviously, the compass needle only moves when I press the button. I seem to have triggered a mechanism, but nothing has happened yet.
Patience, young one. Okay, so now we want 10.5. And then 6.
A secret compartment. There are a few old documents and a roll of film in there. I'll have a look at the documents. Maybe my father left them there. Yes, indeed. He describes that the 1958 expedition apparently could not provide an explanation why the plant growth has changed so much here since the catastrophe of 1908. The discovery of a meteorite, hoped for by the government as a cause of the devastating explosion, also did not materialize. For this reason, neither my father in his function as the leader of the expedition, nor the biologist, Ken Morangi, could provide an unambiguous conclusion, which obviously was not regarded favorably by the authorities. Oh, and they are also briefly mentioning Oleg here, but apparently he was not that important. I guess I'd better not tell him that. Years later, in his function as a geologist at the Academy of Sciences in Moscow, my father examined a strange piece of metal that had been found in the Tunguska region. He then was able to prove its non-terrestrial origins, which breathed new life into the meteorite theory. However, upon further analysis, he and his colleague Manuel Perez discovered traces that indicated that the metal had been worked. When they wanted to publish their discovery in the Kalenkov Expert, it was completely, surprisingly, rejected, and they were forbidden any further examination of the rock. When my father continued to inquire about the happenings in the Tunguska region, he was dismissed from the Academy of Sciences. The last entries are from 1977. Obviously, he and Manuel Perez went to the Tunguska region on their own. They hoped to find additional fragments of that strange material so they could continue their studies. What the goal was and what happened isn't written down in here. In addition, I have this burning desire to know what is going on with this fragment. On the one hand, it's probably not of terrestrial origin, but on the other hand, it was processed. That would mean the old Evink also said something about his son finding some metal fragment in the woods and then suddenly disappearing. That would fit in with the fact that my father was even thrown out of the Academy of Sciences due to his analysis. I hope that I will find some more answers on that roll of film.
Alright, so let's, I think we got, under one's own steam, Tunguska region. Nina's father was unable to come to a definitive conclusion about the cause of the Tunguska catastrophe during his expedition in 1958. He summarized his analysis of a fragment found in the region in the Kalinkov report, in which he claims the material is not made of any material known on Earth, but was processed with tools. However, the report was repressed by higher up. Still, Nina's father continued with his research and headed out in 1977 on another expedition with Manuel Perez to search for more fragments.
An old film reel. There must be something exciting on it because such an extravagant hiding place was chosen for it.
And go.
Damn, the bulb has burned out. It's not possible to just pop around to the shops and get another around this place. So now is the time to think of something else. I've wrapped the tinfoil around the broken glass. Yep, that should work. Since it's rather dark in here, the light reflected by my modified glass shard should do it.
There we go.
So, Manuel, the camera's rolling.
Please excuse me for a moment. I'll be right back.
Manuel!
What was that? Lightning? Or sheet lightning? And what happened to this Manuel Perez? That sounded like an explosion. I should see what's going on. Looks as if half the station exploded.
Come on! Move your asses! The intruders have to be around here somewhere. We'll get them. Spread out!
Oh, my head. What was that? Feels like someone sifted through my thoughts.
There's someone up there! Get them!
Damn. I have to get away from here. Thanks. That was close.
No problem. I told you that I would catch you if you were ever standing on the edge of a precipice. What happened? We just saw that some areas of the research station were in flames, and suddenly there were soldiers everywhere.
I don't know much more either. Suddenly, two strange figures appeared in front of me out of nowhere.
From the FSB?
No, they weren't agents. I'm not really sure. This may sound kind of stupid, but I'm not even sure if they were human.
What?
I don't know how I should describe it. It was more like a feeling that I got from them.
What did they want? Did they say anything?
They didn't really speak. It was more like voices inside my head. It was as if they were looking for an answer.
What kind of answer?
I don't know how to describe the feeling. It was as if my head was going to explode. I've never experienced pain like that. And then suddenly, I knew that I wanted to tell them everything. It was suddenly so clear.
You told them everything?
No. Before I could say anything, the soldiers came and the two figures disappeared as suddenly as they appeared. Where are we flying to anyway?
In the meantime, Sergei has found out that your father was never in Moscow. So it almost looks as if the entire trip was pretty much in vain.
No, on the contrary. I'm now sure that my father was kidnapped for some reason that has to do with the Tunguska catastrophe.
How come?
I found some of my father's old documents. If I haven't misunderstood them, he was on the trail of something big, and I have a name. Manuel Perez. He was with my father back then, and we also know approximately where he is now.
Yes, in a mental institution on Cuba. Great lead.
It's gotta be worth a try. And there's another name on the list. This Irish biologist, Ken Morangi.
That's right. I know that I have already asked a lot from you two, and am deeply indebted to you. And I would understand...
Stop rambling. What's your plan? You're heading to Cuba and I'm heading to Ireland?
You'd really do that?
You can pay me back some other time. For example, by buying me a cup of hot coffee.
Max, you're a sweetheart.
And don't you ever forget it.
Oleg, I'm not usually like that. But what should I do? Besides you two, I don't have anyone who could help me. And if my father...
It's okay. We enjoy helping you, honestly. So don't worry about us. Concentrate on your dad.
Yeah, okay. We already found the psychiatric hospital. I only hope that this Perez is still here.
Why shouldn't he? But first I have to take care of some formalities. Will you be okay without me?
Sure. I can manage the 20 yards to the reception desk by myself. Go on. I'll be all right.
Okay. See you later.
Oh, that's interesting. We have the ability to switch to Max Gruber. But now we're in completely different places instead of in the same place. So his plane is really long range. If he went direct from Siberia to Dublin and then direct from Dublin to Havana. But yeah, okay, so we have mysterious figures that are probably alien that would explain their seemingly supernatural powers. The research station was attacked. And we finally got to more or less see the scene that's on the main menu with the plane and the, well, not really explosions, but, you know, Nina getting on the plane. And Max apparently has really strong hands if he was able to lift her up with just one hand. But, in any case, I think this is a nice transition point for the day. Let's quick check the diary here. Here we go. Light phenomenon. Tunguska region. The hidden film reel shows Manuel Perez and Vladimir Kalenkov on their expedition. But what were those strange lights? And what happened to Perez? Weird encounter. Tunguska region. After a huge explosion in the research station, Nina is suddenly confronted with strange figures in black robes. They don't say a word, but she has the feeling she can hear their voices loud and clear. New goals. The trail in the Tunguska region ends here. But what about Vladimir Kalenkov's former companions? Nina heads off to search for Manuel Perez in Cuba while Max picks up the scent of the Irishman Ken Morangi. So I think we can call it quits for the week here. So thank you all for watching and stay tuned for next time and we'll see you then.